Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to World Class Inventors. This is video number 47, and this is a continuation in part of video 46, where I was explaining the different terms of ideas, provisional patents, non-provisional patents, notice of allowance, and a grant. I had a mental breakdown there. Anyway, here we go. As we discussed, we went over the brief differences in those terms, and today I'm going to drill down on what a provisional patent is, because many of you are fixated, and I think a little bit improperly, on provisional patents. You see, the internet, the talking heads, the USPTO, the legal minds out there on the various forums and YouTube and whatnot, they talk about provisional patent, provisional patent, provisional patent, and that's all well and good. But I want to give you my opinion on it as to how I believe it works. And I'm pretty sure that I'm right. As we discussed prior, an idea is in your head. You've written it down. Hopefully you've researched the heck out of it. You have notes. You have pages and pages of information and ideas, and you've researched it, and you've coalesced and you've boiled your idea down to the point where you're starting to fall in love with it. And you need to fall in love with your idea or you'll never pursue it. So you have to really think that it's the greatest version of sliced bread. So, as I mentioned, the American Invents Act, which was passed in March of 2013. It was brought up by Senator Leahy and Smith, put the United States PTO on an equal footing with the rest of the world, which was pretty much following the first to file concept. That's what inventing was and is as far as the world is concerned, the global view. I'm not a globalist, but I'm just telling you how this works. So the rest of the world was going under the auspices, under the regulations, that it was the first to file. That's who the inventor is. The American system was always the first to invent, and then the inventor would prove that he or she was the first to invent. So I guess they wanted to follow the world and put everybody on an even keel. Okay. So with the advent of the internet, with the advent of electronics, with the advent of the computer, in 2013, we were moving along and we were a computer-driven world. Not like when Steve filed his first patents in 1989 and 1991. That was all handwritten on duplicate paper with 3 copies and the ink sheets in between and photocopies and snail mail and everything else. It's all changed. It's all computerized. It's just like you buying something on Amazon. It's no different. We're in a computerized world, and so the USPTO has gone to that system. Matter of fact, if you do anything in a written form and a mail form other than doing the customer number, because they don't want that forged and they don't want that cheated on during an electronic communication, they want the paper, they want the hard copy, because it prevents identity fraud stronger than the electronic system does. That's the only thing they don't penalize you on for paper. Other than that, if you deal with paper with the PTO, you're going to pay them a premium because they don't touch paper anymore. All right, that was a digression, so let's get back to it. So you have your idea, and now you want to document it. And as we know, as you all know, as we've discussed, you file a provisional patent, and it's good for 365 days, and then it gets purged from their systems. So let me debunk this for you. You write up your specification as best you can, as detailed as you can. You can, at your discretion, include drawings, diagrams, photographs, just to depict what your idea is. You don't have to adhere to the formal 1-inch borders that you would have to adhere to in a non-provisional application. But anyway, you can provide figure drawings, photographs, images, etc. You have your specification. You don't have to file your claims. You don't have to include any claims. And whether you do, that's your choice or not. Now, if you were paying a big-time lawyer or law firm to file your provisional patent application, they more than likely would follow the same format of a non-provisional patent application. And that little ditty will cost you multiple thousands of dollars. It's not really necessary. Now, the biggest companies in the world, when they file a provisional, they're going to file a provisional as close to the non-provisional as they can get it at the time. They still have a whole year to think about it and to refine it. They also have the give and take that goes on with the examination process with the examiner to, again, fine-tune it even more. So this is about your first and best shot, but it does allow you to refine it as the process unfolds. Okay, so a provisional patent, when submitted by you, it goes into the USPTO's database. It goes through their supercomputer. And what does that supercomputer look for? It looks for your SB15 form, which is basically an application data sheet that's dumbed down for a provisional patent. It looks for your 16A if you're a micro entity. It looks for your specification. So far we're up to 3. The SB15, the 16A, the specification. Then it says, do you have any drawings or images? So that's 4 things. After you pass muster with them, with the blue triangles or the yellow triangles, and no red triangles are showing up, that means that their supercomputer and their algorithm has approved of your provisional patent application. The next and last thing you must do is pay for it with a credit card. And if you don't pay for it with the credit card, you will get a notice from them months down the road that this thing has been filed and it's going to lapse in so many months if you don't pay for it. So the point is, you go through the process, you get all the blue and or the yellow triangles, you pay for it, and that is your date certain. That is your priority date, that your idea has been memorialized, and it's good for 365 days. Not 366, not 370, 365 calendar days. If you do not follow it up with a non-provisional patent, with the proper figure drawings, with the proper borders, with the abstract, with the claims, with the detailed preferred embodiments, with the specification in total, if you do not follow that up and pay for it within 365 days, that computer is going to dispatch or discharge or eliminate your provisional patent application. So your provisional is stored in a computer database. It never gets read by a human being. Nobody is looking at it. I'm positive of this. It's only stored information. It has a certain shelf life, and then it goes away. It gets eliminated. When does a provisional patent application come to light? When does it get known? That happens when you're in the non-provisional patent application stage. You have an examiner, you're under examination, and the examiner will know on his file, and he will note it or she will note it to you, and they will cite back on your first office action your application number for your provisional. So that's when the first time that your provisional will ever be recognized is during your first office action, which might come 2-3 years after your non-provisional patent application filing. The only way to speed up this process, as I've mentioned, and I'll do a little ditty on it at some point, is for you to pay the $800 and change to get an accelerated review. And I'm a big believer in that now. So, a provisional patent application only comes to light when you're under examination for your non-provisional, and if you get into an intellectual property conflict where they'll pull it up and you will pull it up, your lawyer will pull it up, whatever, and you can throw that down on the table when somebody says, well, gee, we came up with this idea back in 2024, and you'll say, no, you didn't, because I filed the provisional patent application. Here it is. So that's what it's used for. It's basically to create a point in time that you've registered your idea with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and that is your jumping off point, your moving ahead point when you file the non-provisional patent. And whether you want to file a provisional or not is up to you, and we'll debate that in an upcoming video. Okay, so I hope that clears that up for you. I'll see you around, and God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you. Bye-bye.